Good day, we are Group 1. Today we're going to talk about Pandora's box. My name is Sheila Melantixi.
My name is Joris Marina Tingor.
My name is Marilyn Villalobos.
My name is Canope Logiken.
In ancient Greece, there were two brothers named Ephematus and Prometheus. They upset the god and annoyed the most powerful of all gods, Zeus in particular. This was not the first time human had upset Zeus, and once before, as punishment, he had taken from human the ability to make fire.
This meant they could no longer cook their meat or could not keep themselves warm.
However, Prometheus was clever and he knew that on the Isles of Lemnos lived Hephaestus, the god who was a blacksmith. He had a fire burning to keep his forge hot. Prometheus traveled to Lemnos and stole fire from the blacksmith. Zeus was furious and decided that human had to be punished once and for all. Zeus came up with a very cunning plan to punish the two brothers. With the help of Hephaestus, he created a woman from clay. The goddess Athena then breathed life into the clay. Aphrodite made her very beautiful, and Hermes taught her how to be both charming and deceitful. Zeus called her Pandora and sent her as a gift to Epimetheus. His brother Prometheus had warned him not to accept any gifts from the gods, but Epimetheus was completely charmed by the woman and thought Pandora was a beautiful and she could never cause any harm. So he agreed to marry her. Zeus, pleased that his trap was working, gave Pandora a wedding gift of a beautiful box. There was one very important condition, however, that she must never open the box. Pandora was very curious about the content of the box, but she had promised that she would never open it.
Finally, Pandora could stand it no longer. When she knew Epimetheus was out of sight, she crept up to the box, took the huge key off the high shelf, fitted it carefully into the lock and turned it. But at the last moment, she felt a pang of guilt. Imagine how angry her husband would be, and quickly locked the box again without opening the lid and put the key back where she had found it. 3 more times she did this until, at last, she knew she had to talk inside or she would go completely mad. She took the key, slid it into the lock and turned it. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes and slowly lifted the lid of the box. She opened her eyes and looked into the box, expecting to see fine skills, gowns or gold bracelets and necklaces or even piles of gold coins. But there was no gleam of gold or treasure. There were no shining bracelets and no one beautiful dress. The look of excitement on her face quickly turned to one of disappointment and then horror, for Zeus had packed the box full of all the terrible evils could think of. Out of the box poured disease and poverty. Out came misery. Out came death. Out came sadness, all shaped like tiny buzzing mounds. The creature stung Pandora over and over again, and she slammed the lid shut. Epimetheus ran into the room to see why she was crying in pain. Pandora could still hear a voice calling to her from the box, pleading with her to be let out. Epimetheus agreed that nothing inside the box could be worse than the horrors that had already been released. So they opened the lid once more.
Has your curiosity ever got you in trouble?
Have you ever been so desperate to know a secret that you took no notice of a warning?
Although there history of people who told not to open the box, couches, cupboard, gates, all sorts of other things are, and so many of the story, the people just not listen.
The person who did not listen was Pandora. The story comes from ancient Greece, and her curiosity brought a whole heap of trouble.
The lesson regarding Pandora's box refers to getting yourself into a helpless situation, one in which you ultimately have very little control. But what happens when you're not the one opening the box? When obstacles we can control are placed in our paths? The answer is one is the same. You just have to look closely through the darkness in the bottom of the box. There you'll find the hope. Just like Pandora's found, her box is not totally empty through its appearance to be at the first. This is important to use positive energy to retain the inner belief that change can we always occur. Remain proactive in your own life. Do not hesitate to react to people to your network.
What do you most likely learn from the contents of Pandora's box?
Life contains both good and bad things. Curiosity is a wonderful thing to have. Mistakes always result in terrible things. What moral lesson did you learn from Pandora's box?
What I learned is unchecked curiosity and disobedience can be dangerous, but hope remains. Although she is told not to open the box,
Pandora does because she is curious as to what is inside. How do you describe Pandora's box?
A Pandora's box is a metaphor in our modern languages, and the proverbial phrase refers to a source of endless communication of trouble arising from a single simple miscalculation.